Hello everyone, and Merry Christmas. Well, kind of delayed. I am editing this on 25th of December, so I hope every one of you had a nice Christmas or just a few nice free days. I hope you got to spend time with loved ones and got to enjoy life. So, without further ado, let's go back to the past. What did I do? And there you are. There we are. As you can see, I built lots and lots and lots of alvearies. This took a whole lot of time, and I vaguely remember having my computer on for a day or two, and having my little safety bunker, looking at it every 10-20 minutes or so, and building a few more centered panels and putting the combs in the extractors and whatever. And so, peu à peu, I filled out this grid. Also, I had a chat with Austin about using cheat mode, game mode 1, to make words to show the base in its entirety by flying around it. I wanted to do this in the episode where I flew to the moon. I forgot to actually record my fly around, and then I forgot that I wanted to do that, and now we are. Here we are. So, that's a fly around of the base. I actually really enjoy how this all came together now, looking back. There might be some areas where I think some contrast on the edges would be nice, like the big smoke funnel. But all in all, I do like what I built. Also, you can see I deleted a measly 1,300 fishes, more or less. And that helped the frame rate, but without the graphics card, oh boy, computer no like. Also, you can see I have marshy bees, and they started to pop up mycelium and some huge mushrooms. I didn't know they could do that, so they are on hold for now. Yeah, the truth is that the grid is not completely filled, even though I spend hours doing this, but it will, sooner or later. I also started breeding the poisonless jungle bees now in earnest, and put those two interior thingies back to glacial bees, and as you can see, they were busy. This took a long time. And also, if I can actually manage to climb the ladder, I now also have 2 pairs or 2 queens that are perfect for redstone, and I think it's both redstone. So, yay! I have infinite redstone. Now, what you can see here is that I have this one type of bee that wants the boggy bee, I think it is. It wants water plants. And as you saw there, I had a sponge there. I had earlier a dry sponge, and oh boy. Not great. Another thing where you can see how much time has passed in the meantime is this beautiful chest full of silicone. Because that was the other thing I did over and over and over again. Filling up the different chemical machines with their needed raw products, and at one time I actually ran out of unspecified mineral and had to just start crunching down on iron ore to make more and switch on the supply from the old base. Another thing I did was apparently redoing my storage system and throwing everything in it and having it separated from the other machinery, and I made a little kitchen. I think I recorded this, but apparently I didn't. So that's a little kitchen. It's full of foodstuffs. I have mushroom soup. I used different blocks and things just to make it a little homely, to have stuff just hanging around. And it also has its dedicated vent. Then that's what the new base is looking like from the inside. It kind of does help that it doesn't have to render everything, but still at this point I didn't know that the graphics card was kaput, and so yeah, having played it with the graphic card, everything is nice and smooth, and the redecoration helped. But here it's very, very laggy. I'm sorry for that. And I'm sure I'm waffling on about something very important, but I don't remember. Oh, let me pause, because I have to look up this name. Hello. Where are you? Ah, yes. Might be a robot. Hello there. You had the idea that I could actually do Project Red jetpack. Well, boy howdy, did you know something I didn't? And that's that I actually made the jetpack while waiting, apparently. I have completely forgot that I did this. But that's to say, the jetpack is actually pretty useful, but not that useful. It does give you unlimited jump, but it does not give you hover ability. It takes this electrotine power, which takes electrotine powder, or it needs solar panels. I made an extra solar panel. I had one in the old base. And I had to figure out this battery charge box and whatever. I'm still not quite sure how these things work, but it's useful in a pinch, I guess. And it will be useful for flying through the next dimension that I found. Thanks for the idea, might be a robot. Apparently, I immediately set out to do it, and it's a cool idea. Thank you. What I'm showing you here is my next project. I am using all these bad princesses to make industrial and imperial bees, just so that I can have a good supply of alveoli building materials, and I don't really care about them going away. I have huge amounts of perfect drones for all the things. I don't know if genetic machinery is part of the mod pack, so the drones might be useful later on to turn into DNA, but I don't know. I also did a few things with the escritoire and used quite a few stacks of drones there, but that's not too important, I guess. Going to the heart of the base, by the way, this is my little night bunker that every time I wasn't on the computer I retreated into, so neither the crew nor the cold nor a random spawning enderman could get me. I just sometimes clip through the floor. Another thing I apparently made were new bags. And this one is my combat bag, which has these nice millennium arrows and a full millennium armor with this electrum steel longbow, which does amounts of damage, and I should be able to snipe away these flying things in the other dimension. These millennium arrows, they have so little drop, it's freaking amazing. And yes, here you can see the beating, pulsing heart of my bee-based industries. Bee industries. So, most of these are filled with ignoble, yes, that's the word, not bad, with ignoble industries and imperial bees, and then some others that are just there, and that gives me a few alveoli blocks every half an hour or so. And that was my life, mostly. Also, you can see I made batteries because I thought in the wiki it was said that you can use batteries to charge the Project Red thingies without a charging box. Apparently that doesn't really work, and these batteries don't stack, so I don't know. I probably need to think about a way to charge the Project Red thing in the other dimension. Something else that I tried was this super cold frame, because I had the resources for it just laying around. Wasn't worth it. The 300 durability is... I made a few of them, but the benefits do not outweigh the immense cost of production, because the other thing is just so much better. Another thing that I researched in between was Steve's cards, because I planned on using Steve's cards for a wood production build, but this stuff is so frigging expensive and slow to make that I said no. This stuff, just the amount of PCBs that I need, and these iron frames that are needed for nothing else, it just didn't seem worth it when I could just plunk down a forestry farm cube, which is much less expensive and gives me more than enough wood. Then I found endstone and wondered what they used for, and then I found the hover boots, which is something I definitely want to make, and for that, and I need this endstone for the hover upgrade Mark II. I have actually no idea how these hover boots work, but they seem very pertinent in a dimension that doesn't have solid ground. The thing is, that thing needs even more microchips. The liquid signalium isn't the problem, but making all of these microchips is a project. It will take time. There you see me deleting the several different project red thingies. I was thinking about making maybe a timer for a machine, but then it takes 9 circuit boards, and no, these freaking conductive plates are so freaking expensive at the time. So I won't be making any of this. That's mostly because I wanted to get rid of my redstone clock for the rock generator, but nope, won't make any of that. Then I thought about making this inductive furnace, which actually is not too expensive, but it is also used in next to no recipe. One thing I might do is this teleposer to teleport between spaces and dimensions. The only thing is these pearls, but I should be able to make them now, because that's basically just silicone. So that might be something, but as far as I found out, they need power, so I'm going to need a solar panel and a battery box for each of the teleposers, and I do not know if I need to chunk load them or not. So maybe the other idea would be just to use an electrotine generator for each teleposer, and that might be a cheap way to teleport between my different thingies, my different bases and outposts. I do want to see if they can actually telepose through dimensions, because the wiki wasn't sure about this. There were several very old forum discussions, but I don't know. I really don't know. Then just for shits and giggles, I found these respirators. I want to make one because it's a gas mask, and for the amount of pollution that I do, I think a gas mask would be appropriate. But it has the same problem that Jetpack has. When I'm in my base, I can't wear them because I need to wear my Faraday suit. It's definitely something that I want to make before I go into space, because there might be dangerous atmospheres, and seeing that the spacesuit does not shield you from cold, I wouldn't bet on it that the spacesuit can shield you from toxic atmospheres. So, better safe than sorry, I guess. Yes. Then I guess I had a talk or a look at the coming quests. There is the space station assembler and making the warp core. I'm pretty sure I get the lithium ore that I need for the warp core, or warp core, from the moon. So my idea is to build a quarry on the moon. The problem that I will have, of course, is how to power it. I have a few very dumb ideas that may or may not work. I'll have to try. I'm known for my great, wonderful, and very plausible ideas that always work. Another thing, oh yeah, you can see it here nicely. I made many more power cells, tier 2 power cells, to hopefully combat brownouts. The main source of the brownouts was actually that there were some errant blocks of pollution throughout my base from the time that Enderman sniped me. And they broke all kinds of cables, and I at first didn't notice it, and so I needed to hunt down these errant things. And in this 35 hours of uncut footage, I made 3 alveoli blocks. For your viewing pleasure, I cut a few of these things out. And yeah, I just need 2 more for that. And oh, the clay bees are done, so I can Analyze the clavies. Tolerant flyer, yes, great. Not poison, but not nocturnal. Times 2, times 3, not nocturnal. Oh, well. Just take these. Mostly for their environmental needs, so that they are not as nervig as they are. And yes, I think I'll stop it right here because that's near the end of the video and that's apparently all that I recorded. Next episode will be something completely different. So, thanks for watching everyone, and goodbye.